Anti-war protests were ubiquitous this weekend. You heard me. I said ubiquitous. And I know what it means. Now listen, I understand people's right to protest, but don't you think it says something is wrong when at the Oscars you have more people giving thanks and props to a Polish child molester than to the United States? Hey, who's the producer of the show? Chemical Ali? Chemical. Now listen, you know, Mother always used to say to me, if you're not helping, you're in the way. So protests are obviously part of being American, but don't you think at a certain point when you see the majority's behind the thing, there's people coming home in body bags, maybe it's time to take it down a notch and say, okay, look, this is happening. I got to switch my gears on this one. Now, Hood, as you know, right now they're arresting a lot of, you know, they're rounding up a lot of Iraqi suspects, which of course brings the question, what the hell are you doing here? No, I'm just kidding. But look, are you wearing those sandals as a statement, by the way? Damn it. Now look.
Yeah, really?
No, but what do you think? I know you have kind of a, you know, different view than some people would have on this.
By the way, Colin, I think it's a great idea to start off with poking a little stick at the sand monkey. Having said that,
called you a sand monkey yet.
Give it time. You know where I stand on this, which is I totally support the president. I think that when he says that Bush is the aggressor, he is right. No, and I really think it's important to exercise our rights as citizens. Every good citizen should protest injustice wherever and whenever they see it, regardless of nationality. So what they're doing in the streets, I'm all for.
Yeah, protesting, I don't think anybody has a problem with somebody protesting.
Don't touch him.
No, I wasn't going to. The problem isn't protesting. It's the thing is that we have worries about terrorism at home, and for the, you know, the cops should be worried about terrorism and not a bunch of douchey white kids in dreadlocks.
You know what's funny? It is, it's funny to me that I would hear you say that, you know, everybody's for war. Well, at one time, everybody believed the world was flat. It ain't. We found that was a lie. The bottom line is everybody tells me about how the terrorists, they should be watching out for the terrorists as opposed to watching out for the protesters. They should be, they're doing the same shit during the Macy's Day Parade. They should be worried about terrorists then too. The bottom line is that everybody has the right to say if they disagree with something, period. They got the right to say it.
Yeah, nobody's arguing that point, but, you know, when there's people coming back in body bags, just, you know, wait a day or two, you know what I mean?
You know what?
Have a little respect.
You know what? The bottom line is this is a war that could have been avoided, and it ain't. And I don't care what you say. It ain't.
No, you're
535
right.
congressmen and senators, not one of their children is over there serving. It's Washington and Smith. Is that unpatriotic? That's unpatriotic too. They get to send us the war, they just don't have to go.
This war could have been avoided, and we can let, you know, Saddam and his kids keep raping people systematically over there and, you know, doing what they've been doing for the last 20 years.
They did that during the Reagan and Bush administration, and we didn't say anything about it now. So 20 years later,
who didn't say anything about it?
No one said anything about it.
But aren't you allowed to change? Then you were. I mean, yeah. So we mess up. Then what? You can't grow. Everybody's got to change. Look at it this way. What I'm saying is this: when people get up, like they're going to say, "I'm all for peace. We should stop killing." Blah blah blah. But you know, that's one of the, to me, one of the contradictions of the world is that sometimes you have to fight for peace. That's the way it is. You know what I mean?
You know what? And sometimes you have to really try for peace.
Yeah.
You don't talk about I'm being diplomatic while I'm sending troops up your ass.
Well,
you don't say that.
How about 12 years of trying? I mean,
yeah,
come
I mean, you know,
what have we done for 12 years?
These countries signed on to 1441. It was back in, what, October? We've been talking about this for how long now?
Yeah.
What did North Korea?
Well, we'll be there next. Don't worry about it.
And you know what the bottom line is?
And they deserve it too.
It is funny to me because, you know, we have a volunteer army right now.
Right.
And right now, and a lot of these kids go because they want the house for $1 and they get to go to college.
Right.
They didn't know that this was going to happen. Now, all of a sudden, we got an army that ain't volunteering. You think they're going to say, oh, we ain't going to fight? Or they're going to start drafting people? I got a 15-year-old son. This matters to me. It matters to me
everybody.
that my son might have to go. And it matters to me that I may have a problem with the way that this is going, and I might have a problem. I don't agree with it, and I'm going to say I don't agree with it. Of course. Where I'm at.
Bush's whole strategy of preemption is going to mean that we are going to be in South Korea next, and after that, God knows where. Why don't we just roll on into Poland?
Stupid. North Korea.
Did I say South Korea?
Yes, you did. We're already in South Korea.
Well, you're right. Then we're going to... No, just give us time.
Hey, if it was up to me, I'd build a dome over this country and tell everybody to mind their own business. business, and that includes Africa when people are dying of AIDS and are looking for a check. Kiss my ass.
Hold
no
on,
one wants to help us.
If it were up to you, we'd all be whacking off the pictures of Mussolini, all right?
Well, so what? You'd be here on time, wouldn't you?
But wait a minute. Wait a minute. You can't act like you...
We built the dome over this country. It'd only be Indians and people trying to get in on boats. That's what would happen.
Wow, you said it out. But I'm saying the reality of it now is this. Look, nobody can tell me. I'm watching Saddam Hussein's strategy now. Now, we're trying not to kill civilians. Does anyone deny that? We're trying not to kill civilians in this war so far.
Bullets ain't got no eyes and neither do bombs. We may be trying not to kill civilians, but a bomb ain't gonna go, oh man, I'm sorry, I'm gonna miss you.
Well, maybe, especially since the Russians sold them things that knock it off the military targets. So, but listen to this, deal. What about the fact that they're actually using, Saddam Hussein is using our efforts not to kill civilians to trick us and kill Americans by having them dress as civilians, dress up or surrender.
Exactly.
They're using our rules against us.
I think that war is a, when you go to war,
right.
If I'm fighting you, after a point I'm going to say, F it, I'm trying to win. And
all right. So you know what? Fair enough.
But what if we say that?
That's right.
We are saying it.
We're not saying it.
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. The country the population of that country is what, 20 million? 20 million.
Who knows? It'll be about 3 million another week.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
If things go right.
We're fighting them. We're fighting an antiquated army. We should kick their ass. That's right.
Right.
But don't expect that a man who's fighting in his own house is not going to do whatever he needs to or wants to win.
That's true.
It shouldn't be unexpected.
Of course, but don't you think, have you ever seen a war where we're actually like trying to make it like pick-up sticks, where we're trying to avoid most of the people and just hit military targets?
We're telling them what we're going to do. We're actually going, look, we're going to drop a bomb there. You might not want to be
there. We're telling them we drop leaflets in English. You think the vast majority of that country speaks English? They don't know pictures on them.
They're not English.
They do
somebody drop
pictures
something in Arabic, I'd want some
They
food.
are in Arabic.
One of those pamphlets has a family of like people on a magic carpet just flying out of Baghdad like this.
Hood, anything?
No.
Really?
You know, after the magic carpet reference
You don't like that cut? We can edit it around that.
How'd he get here? Somebody rub a lamp?
Oh!
I felt the love. I had to throw a cheap one in.
All right.
You could be president.
The problem is, if you want to protest, I say that's fine. Obviously, it's America. But if you're wrong, and it turns out they do have chemical weapons of mass destruction, then you should have to, like, step down. Like when anybody's wrong, for 3 years, you should not be allowed to protest.
We obviously know they have weapons because we sold them a majority of the chemical elements that they have.
Right.
So we know that they have them. The point isn't that they have them. It's that France has them, we have them, Israel has them, a lot of people have them. It's that they're going to use them or not. That's
right.
We're supposed to be going over there to keep us safe. That's the deal.
Yeah.
I don't know how this makes us safer, but I got a GED. What the
There are better uses of
There are
the
better
military.
uses, but I don't think you guys understand. When I said that last thing, that was my wrap-up. We'll be right back.
If there's only... This is bit...
Or the standing ovation for a child molester. I don't know. Some people decided to get political at this year's thing. Let's take a look at this little footage.
We live in a time where we have a man sending us to war for fictitious reasons, whether it's the fictitious of duct tape or the fictitious of orange alerts. We are against this war, Mr. Bush. Shame on you, Mr. Bush. Shame on you.
Now, let me say something. As much as I personally don't like Michael Moore and his simplistic, awful statements, you have to admit one thing. At least he had the guts to get up there and say it. All the Hollywood people, but the Hollywood people applaud, gave him a standing ovation when he came up. Then they started applauding, we started talking. Then they had their hands like this when they heard real people booing behind them.
He didn't have guts. He didn't do that out of guts. He did that because he thought he'd get a big ovation from everybody there, and he didn't think he'd get booed.
That was a setup, by the way.
That was a sellout by them on him.
They muzzled everybody else and said, don't do any political crap, and we'll give this guy the trophy, and they know he's going to shoot his mouth off.
Oh, a white guy with a conspiracy theory?
That's right, man.
I think that if he wanted to say whatever he needed to say, whatever, I mean, it was brave for him to say it, no matter what.
At least he said
I'm
that
not
loud.
questioning that either.
I'm not questioning that, but I'm saying Hollywood turned on him in 10 seconds.
They didn't turn on him.
Standing O, they flipped over.
They just sat there. They didn't turn on him.
That's what I mean. They sat there. They're supposed to applaud if they like
Colin,
that
that booing was fake, too.
What's that?
That booing was fake, too.
Oh,
it was
really?
all part of a scheme. They loved everything he said.
Yeah.
It's true. It was all a
They're
big
just trying to
thing.
save their ass at the box office, that's all.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I booed when I saw that movie, The Hours. They should have called it. They should have called it The Hours and Hours, goddamn. It was too long.
The wasted hours.
It was a little dry, wasn't it?
The, did you guys see any of the Oscar movies, by the way? This is kind of an Oscar.
I saw a good film, Death to Smoochie. That was,
That's a good one.
No.
I think that was last year, though.
Oh, what's it?
Nicole Kidman
That was like a pootie tang for white folks. That's what that was.
Wait, Pootie Tang wasn't for white folks?
Nicole Kidman was the only one I picked right. That was the only one I picked.
Yeah, that's right.
I got that one right, though.
We got you guys to make Oscar picks. Now, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
They wanted us all to do Oscar picks for this show.
Yeah.
You guys are sitting home like two, assistant wardrobe mistresses at Les Mis making your Oscar picks. I just ignored it and didn't do it, you stupid fruits. Shut up. Shut your mouth and you shut up. And he calls me up all excited. I got 7.
You talking to him. I didn't pick it in.
You actually did, you stupid Oscar pick sitting there in your awful house. I got 7.
Well, I was doing that and I was watching porn at the same time.
He was doing girls at the same time.
Yeah. I
about you,
got
stupid? You didn't
Sega
even
for
watch it
Best
last
Actress.
Yeah, I did watch it. I thought Steve Martin was great. Although Selma Hayek, can she never present an award again? She's hot, but she has the diction of a stroke victim.
Oh, wait a minute. She's Hispanic, Jimmy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that was
Hey,
controversial.
You look like a skinhead. You can't say stuff like that.
It must be a bitch going through the airport, boy. God
I
damn.
have no problems.
I got a big problem.
I know it is for me. Come here.
I have problems at the airport, but with good reason.
As you should.
Yeah, exactly. Try buying a
I
ticket.
mean, you know, I'm against that, but hey, look. Hey.
The thing about Nicole Kidman's speech, which kind of annoyed me, I mean, I think she deserved to win, but she actually said that in the middle of like the war, it's okay to have these ceremonies because art is important. And it's like, well, this stupid whore, you didn't invent the wheel, you just threw on a nose and jumped into a lake. Oh. She's talking about.
Did you just call Nicole Kidman a stupid whore?
Yes, I did.
All right, I just wanted to make sure I heard that. Now, should the Oscars, do you guys think there should have been like even just a moment of silence, not on left or right, just a moment of silence, say, hey, look, our troops are at war, let's have a moment of silence no matter what side you're in.
Can they stop equating what's going on with a bunch of actors to the war? It's not important. The red carpet thing, well, we're not going to do the red carpet. Nobody overseas cares about a bunch of pompous jizzbags on a red rug. It means nothing. It means nothing.
But people, what do you mean? That's why they always have like USO shows. I mean, people do want to get away from it for a minute.
Not when you're in the middle. You're right, but not in the middle of the fight. They're going to care. Well, they didn't do the glitz thing. That means a lot to me. Nobody cares if they do the glitz thing.
So you don't think there should have been a moment of silence just for the American people who are always watching it?
No, because it doesn't mean they're all
But that would have
pompous.
been for them. That would have been for you know the actors showing that they were patriotic.
Yes.
And that's what it would have looked like. And to me, it looked weird. The very reason they're supposed to be having it is so that the audience can appreciate what they're doing. But they went, oh, we don't need the audience. We'll just appreciate each other. That's,
Right. So there was no right. There were no fans outside.
Right.
And you know, that was also to cover up because they were scared of, that was a security thing more than anything else.
Right.
And Renee Zellweger, I mean, she looked like she was having her intestines vacuumed out through that whole thing. She looked awful. Yeah, she looked awful. I said it.
That's really cold. You know that? I hope Matthew McConaughey punches you right in your face. In fact, you know what? I might punch you in your face and get in good with Renee Zellweger. Maybe she'll hook up with me after she sees me defend her honor. Well, of course he's right. She did look kind of awful. Oh.
Who was the Hispanic guy that was bad-mouth in the country?
That's that Mexican Rob Lowe?
Oh. Yeah, you know what? Thank you.
I'd like to pop him right in his eye.
A new rule in this country. You can't badmouth the country if you still have an accent, okay?
And also Colin Farrell, speaking of accents, even my own people are turning on this country. You hear him?
No.
Son of a...
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he mumbled it like he was drunk.
Were you about to make fun of my stupid Irish character I just said?
Thank you. I'm glad you got that.
Like he was drunk.
I was playing it. DL picked up on the irony there.
I know some people right now, this is the wrap-up, by the way, if anyone wants to. I know some people right now are saying how bitter Colin is. If he won an Oscar, he'd be as phony as the rest of them up there. So what? You never been two-faced in your life? You're damn right. I'd be up there like, Hey, Michael Moore, big deal. We'll be right back.
Imagine a world. He's the Havoc, rated E for everyone.
Folks, thank you, folks. As the war unfolds, just remember, there's a key difference between us and the people in the Middle East. They're fighting a jihad that could last thousands of years. We want to fight for 6 weeks and then buy the DVD. Now, I don't want to complain about the war coverage, but could the reporters dress any more casually? In World War II, the reporters had bow ties. War was formal. There was no casual D-Day. Nothing against Will Blitzer, but for the end of the world, he goes to TJ Maxx. Come on. Come on, folks. Nothing? Okay. Let's see how today's war stacks up against other wars. Damn it. Today, American soldiers are fighting for the right to sit back home and watch shows like My Big Fat Greek Life. Now, in 404 BC, in the Peloponnesian War, the big fat Greeks surrendered their lives to the thin, lean Spartans. You know where their empire is now? That's right. Today's war photographers use digital cameras that reproduce work instantly for TV, newspapers, magazines, and the internet. The Civil War photographer just had this. He had to set it up and then prep his subjects. He's like, okay, they just burned your city. You're angry. You're Confederates. We're getting rid of slavery. More pain. That was a great character. Now, the Civil War, the Civil War was the bloodiest conflict in American history. And where did it end up? On a PBS tote bag. If you enjoyed this war, please donate as much as your means will allow. Today, we have CNN and CNBC. In the Spanish Civil War, they had Picasso. Right? Just be glad CNN wasn't covering Madrid in 1936. Cristiana Amanpour. You're right, that's a real slam. Ooh, make her a Picasso. Come on. Today, we're afraid of terrorists. In the 1940s, we were afraid of the Nazis. We beat them. Hitler thought he was creating a 1,000-year Reich. You know what he really created? 1,000 hours of programming. That's right. They went from Crystal Night to Nick at Night. The Vietnam War taught us that no war is so complex that it can't be reduced to a CD from Time Life books. The Revolutionary War has Yankee Doodle Dandy, Civil War, Battle Hymn of the Republic. Vietnam had green-eyed ladies. Ugh. You know what? I'm not a professional producer, editor, but maybe if we just allowed that CD, it would have had a chance. It still would have bombed, maybe, but it would have had a damn chance. Damn it. But don't worry, folks. Our big fat American empire probably has another thousands of years before it ends up here. We'll be right back.
Politics, social issues, it's all fair game.
I was spanked a few times, and all it did to me was, like, now I like getting spanked.
Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn, comedians with issues. Weeknights after The Daily Show, only on Comedy Central. Hello.
Oh, you know, folks, the Academy Awards are a lot like the Middle East. They're unpredictable, explosive, and the Jews are in charge. How can we improve the Middle East when we can't even improve the Oscars? So we asked our panel of experts to tell us how to make the Oscar broadcast better. Let's start with Nick DiPaolo. Oh, that's funny.
Let's start by doing it in a smaller venue and having the band Great White do the opening number. I think I'm not a big fan. Just kidding, folks. Seriously.
Seriously, folks.
We should fill the seats with half-naked, starving children from all over the world. This way people accepting their awards would look out and be immediately reminded of just how trivial their jobs really are. It's hard to brag about how you sunk your teeth into a roll when half the audience has never tasted one. And no red ribbons.
Nice. All right. There we go. Okay. Nice. Mr. D.L. Hughley.
I don't know how the hell I follow that. And look, I'm so tired of these arty-ass movies. If you gay or retarded or handicapped, you gonna win. I want movies with just that's it. Just naked and that's it. You can be gay and naked. I don't give a damn with something blowing up. That's all I'm asking for.
Jim Norton.
I think a couple of quick suggestions would be you hand everybody in the audience handfuls of wet horse shit and allow them to throw it at any speaker who even remotely tries to sound brilliant or socially well-informed. When someone who looks like Kathy Bates takes off her clothes in a movie, you give her the Best Impression of a Hippopotamus Award. And you ask everyone in the studio audience if they've ever laughed out loud during a Jackie Chan film. If they answer yes, you knock their teeth out with a hammer claw.
Hood! Hood!
Well, I'd let Michael Moore host. But given that's never going to happen, I'll probably go with this. One, give the awards an international flair, and two, open it up to new talent. How do you hit both things? host next year's awards in a large auditorium in Moscow, and then replace all the ushers with Chechen rebels. And sit around and pray that Charlton Heston is asthmatic.
Okay, here's what I say. Instead of hired models who hand over the awards, they should hire the people with bad skin, inappropriately sweating, not smart or wealthy or tough. The kid in high school that you were with your friends having a cool sandwich from the deli, he was sitting by himself in cheap glasses eating a sloppy Joe with the milk. When they give you the award, I want you to look in their eyes. The guy you brushed aside and never called back after 10th grade. And still, when he talks about you, he still tells people how great you are. Huh? As bad as that was, let me just say one thing. Jackie Chan movies, I've laughed out loud. Stupid. Damn it. That's it, folks. Don't walk out during the credits. You might miss nothing. Good night.